Hi, welcome back to my channel. As you know, I work full time, so today I want to show you how you can make a very quick, healthy meal in a fraction of the time. This can feed up to probably 4 people, so I will have some left over this evening, but just want to give you a feel of how you can still cook something very, very quickly. I'm out of the house for about 11 hours a day when I'm in the office, so when I get home I then have to walk the dogs, so it's gone 7 o'clock before I'm actually in the kitchen and starting to cook. And I do try and prepare in advance some food in the slow cooker. You'll see my slow cooker over there behind me actually in the sink, because actually I was away last night while I was out. I went to the German market with some friends, so I got home quite late and I left my husband something in the slow cooker. He hadn't had it all, so what's left, he wants me to make a nice lamb gravy for him, which I will do, so I don't let anything go to waste. So what am I going to do today? Well, I'm going to do a leek and potato sort of pie with a bit of mash on top. As I said, I didn't have time to do anything last night because I was out, so I am going to cheat, and I am going to use, and I'll spell it for you, Smash. Now, it used to be free on Slim World, but it is now Sind, and I think sometimes it's worth the sins just to save you some time in the kitchen, and today is just one of those days. The other thing I'm going to do is a leek and potato pie. I don't want to mess around chopping loads of leeks and onions and potatoes and everything else because I just don't have time sometimes. So these from Tesco, you can see them. It's called Leek and Potato Soup Mix, but it's perfect for this. It's absolutely brilliant. I've done this recipe in the slow cooker when I've had friends for a dinner party, and what I've basically done is just stuck it all in the morning and just left it, and then when it came to doing the actual meal, just took all the ingredients out of the slow cooker when it's cooked and put it into pie dishes and put the puff pastry on top. So quick, so easy. So I was able to do a really nice sort of meal for friends and family without having to spend too long in the kitchen as well. So obviously I haven't done that because I wasn't here last night, so we're going to do it in a pan. And if you know me, you also know I love my Bergenhof pans, can't live without them. Don't use any oil on them, and they are absolutely fabulous. So let's see what we're going to do with this. Okay, so first of all I need to put my chicken in. Another top tip, I took this out of the freezer and left it in the fridge to defrost. One thing I do is I always put it into a jug, and the reason I do that is because when it obviously defrosts, it just still sits there and there nicely, but that fits in my door of my fridge. If I put it on a plate, it would take a lot more room up in my fridge, so I just stick it into a jug. I'll do that with most meats. Most meats that we use for the two of us will fit into a jug, and it's just saves space. So we're going to put that into my my pan. No oil, as you will see, and then just going to pop that straight in. That's it. It's had chicken in, so it's going straight into the sink. I'm not going to touch it or anything else. Just going to brown that off a little bit. Now I'm going to serve this with a selection of vegetables, which if you see here, they're just steaming away nicely. Move that around for you. I've got in there a selection of broccoli, snap peas, beans, and some carrots at the bottom, so that'll be really nice to go with it. So I'm just cooking that. Okay, so it's just starting to get a little bit of colour on it, so what I'm going to do is just pop the lid on, because with these pans, what's really good is it just seals in the heat, so it's almost like a little oven, and that will cook the chicken all over, whereas if I just left the lid off, it would just be the base of the chicken that would sort of get cooked, and I just need to keep turning it over, whereas I can be lazy here, because what I can be doing while that's cooking is I could be starting to make lunch for tomorrow and breakfast for tomorrow. As I said, my time in the evening is so precious, I really try and multitask as much as I possibly can. So I'm going to leave that for a few minutes, just so it cooks. So the heat will just form an oven in there, and we'll come back to it in a few minutes, okay? Okay, so I've literally been gone a couple of minutes, if that, so I've started doing the dishwasher. Multitasking. Okay. You can see now that has gone white all over. It's not cooked, you can see there's bits of pink, I can show you. You can see just little bits of pink, but that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to add to that some chopped bacon, which I've removed as much of the fat off as possible. And this is smoky bacon, which will give it a nice simple flavour. Okay. Also I'm going to add some mushrooms. about 3 mushrooms in there. 2 big chicken breasts, probably about 4 rashers of bacon, I believe. I'm not great at measuring things when I do my food at night. It's just about throwing it all in the saucepan for me. And then my soup mix. So I'm just going to add and then I'm just going to add some stock, chicken stock. And then all I'm going to do is leave the lid on. And I'm going to walk away and leave that for about 15 minutes to cook, and then come back to it. Right, so literally true to my word, I've just been away for about 10-15 minutes, and this has been bubbling away on the stove. So in the meantime, I've unpacked my dishwasher and I've got my breakfast ready. So overnight oats for myself and yogurt and seeds for hubby. So again, all about multitasking. So I'm just going to leave that round. It's easier for me to handle. There we go. So take that off. You can see on the spoon, that's all been bubbling away really nicely. Okay. So I'm now just going to leave the lid off, just so that some of that water sort of comes off it, so it's not so sloppy towards the end. There we go. You see the bacon in there. That's going to really add flavour to the stock, and it's going to be absolutely scrumptious. I promise you. Okay, so let's just leave that to bubble for 5 minutes and come back. Right, so that's been bubbling away for a bit longer than probably 3-4 minutes, but not much more than that. So it's still got a lot of liquid in there, and that's absolutely fine. So what I want to do now is thicken it up. It does give the juice a little bit more of colour as well, by adding in some corn flour. So in a jug, I've just mixed about a teaspoon of corn flour into some cold water. Don't put it straight into there because it will just go all lumpy and disgusting. And I'm going to add it gradually, because you don't always need a lot. Just going to add this 2. Right, let's just try 3 spoonfuls. Ooh. Now you notice I didn't season this because you don't need to. When you've put a stock cube into anything, you don't really need to season it. Just see how that looks. Splashing it around everywhere. I'm just going to put some heat back under my vegetables because I did turn them off slightly. Yes, I don't want to overcook. There we go. That's actually looking really nice. Okay, so I'm just put a bit more in. Now obviously if you're not watching your weight, you can use cream and things like that, but obviously being on Slim World, that's a no-no. And I don't like it with cream in, I have to say, although my hubby would. So, and you can see my onions and my leeks are all sort of cooked off nicely. My mushrooms are still solid. I'm just going to have to let my dog in, who's in the garden, and you can hear Lola barking. Just be with me. Just had to blackmail her with a biscuit to get her in. So she wouldn't bark throughout. So that, if you can see now, has really, really bound that sauce together, and I think that is actually a perfect consistency, because you don't want it too dry, because you want it to have like a bit of a gravy on it. So that for me is 100% perfect. So I'm now going to put this into a dish. Before I do that, I'm just going to add a load of parsley. You can use thyme, but I just like parsley, and I had some in the cupboard I wanted to use up. So I'm just going to mix that in. Again, it's just going to add it a bit of colour as well. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to move that over there. Okay, and here is my dish. You see that? And I'm just going to load up my dish with my filling. can see nice big chunks of chicken as well. I always keep my chicken quite thick, just so that you get a really nice flavour when you're eating it. It can mush down if you're doing it in the slow cooker, if you've got small pieces. So that's about enough for that. You can see I've still got loads left there. Come back and you'll see what I'll do with that another time. Okay, and then I said smash. So while that was cooking, I've actually made up some smash in a jug. Dead easy. This was 100 grams of the raw mash, or smash as I call it, and then I've just added water to it. So I'm just going to pile that on. Probably put a bit too much filling in, but hey ho, just make a mess of my cooker. I'm going to leave it a bit rough on top because when you put it in the oven, which is what I'm going to do now just to brown it off, bits that stick up go a bit more brown and crunchy, and I actually quite like that. So I'm just getting rid of that because I've actually filled it up too much. I'm going to stick it in the oven on a baking tray so it doesn't all go down into my oven. Just take that and put it on top of my baking tray. That's now on the baking tray and that's going to go in the oven. So that's now in the oven and it's only going to go in for 5 minutes, and while that's in the oven now I can tidy up and clean up and then it'll be ready to dish dinner. Hi, so that's now out of the oven. As you can see, it's got a slight colour on it now. You could leave it in longer if you want it really brown. If you wanted to put cheese on top, you could do that as well. I've already had my cheese for today, so I'm not going to do that. So that is ready to serve. So all I need now is one husband, and we're well away. And that took less than an hour, and that's with me stopping and starting. So you can do it if you're not messing around with the video and stuff in about 40 minutes. As I said, normally I would do the filling in the slow cooker, and I would have prepared a load of mashed potatoes in advance, so you can put it all together really quickly. But even so, an hour, so from scratch, to have something like that, I don't think is a lot of time to spend in the kitchen. And we've got a hearty meal, and I've still got quite a lot left, which I'm going to use another day. So have a good evening. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please keep subscribing to my channel, Living Inspirations for You, and I'll be back with more recipes and ideas soon.